Hello and a very warm welcome once more to MotoGP Fantasy Live ahead of round 13 of the MotoGP World Championship in 2024 ahead of Misano, the Gran Premio Red Bull di San Marino e della Riviera di Rimini. And well, what a season it has been so far. We've had 12 rounds of majestic, brilliant action so far in the MotoGP. And of course, it's 23 points that separate Jorge Martin from last year's champion Pecco Bagnaia. Bagnaia has a big weekend ahead of him. Can he recover those 23 points after a collision with Alex Marquez last weekend? And talking of Marquez's, we have a brand new winner in 2024. Marc Marquez took his first victory last weekend in Aragon. Is he now back in the championship battle? 70 points off Jorge Martin. We have 8 more rounds to go starting here in Misano this weekend. It's going to be a bumper rest of the season. But before we get into that, we've got a bumper guest here for us today, our current Moto3 Championship leader, and just been announced this week as stepping up to Moto2 next year. I'm going to introduce him. It is Mr. David Alonso. David, how are you?
Hello, Liam. How are you? Good?
Very well, very well. How has the week been for you? You had a little bit of news this week. The news that you'll be stepping up to Moto2 next year with the CF Moto Aspar team, the one you're currently competing with in Moto3. You must be extremely excited about next year.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Finally, well, it's the announcements get out and I will be riding Moto2 next year. I believe a lot on my people around, on the Aspar team, CF Moto Aspar team, Nico Terol. So they decided it was the best moment for go to the next step in 2025. So I believe 100% of them. So let's do it for 2025.
Now, talking about next year, before we come on to this year, you will be stepping up to Moto2. Have you had a test of a Moto2 bike? Will you have a test before the end of the season on one?
Well, now, honestly, now I'm like really focused on the biggest challenge of my life, that is being a world champion of Moto3. So I am I am giving all my best for make this happen. And now Moto2 is really far away. I even don't see myself on a Moto2 now. It's like too big the bike, too much power, 300 kilometers per hour. It's like if they say me to do tomorrow a test, I say no, please. So I prefer to finish Moto3 that I am enjoying so much, the Moto3 style. So finish this championship and then with calm try the Moto2, but now no.
Yeah, spoken like a true race winner and champion. Just focused on this year, then we'll concentrate on next year after Valencia. Now, talking of this season so far, you've had 7 race wins from a possible 12 rounds. It's been a fantastic season, but the journey in Moto3 did start 3 years ago here at Misano at the Emilia Romagna GP. You came in to replace Sergio Garcia, and you won here 1 year ago. What is it about Misano that you gel with, that really suits your style and you enjoy?
Yeah, here in Misano, I have the both memories, bad and good memories. So here in Misano, I made the worst race of my career, the worst, and then one of the most beautiful also. So it's like a mix of emotions, because here I do my first Grand Prix race in Moto3 in the place of Sergio Garcia. And I remember it was all weekend raining, then the race it was dry, and it was horrible. I was 15 years old, very little. I end last one, but with a lot of gap from the guy other rider. So they almost catch me, and I'll go last one. I remember Gino Borsoi was the team manager in that moment. I say, Gino, because it was like really bad moment for me. So I say him, I remember. I think I will not go fast with the Moto 3. Uh, I think I'm not prepared for this. And say, trust in you, believe, and take calm because you will be fast one day. Next year, 2023, I win the race in the Moto 3 World Championship class, so it's nice. I always try say this story because it's nice.
Yeah, Gino Borsoi is a great character, a great person to have in your side of the garage. Would when he said that to you that time, would you have believed that in 2024 you would be the current Moto 3 championship leader?
Well, you always like I go to bed with the dreaming that maybe I can do it one day, but you always have doubts, doubts about yourself about because you never did it. So, uh, like one part of you it's believes that maybe it can happen, but you never know. You never know. So you you try to imagine how it can be, but it needs to happen for know it.
Yeah, well, it's a fantastic story and it's great advice from Gino Borsoi, and now he's gone on to take the reins of the Prima Pramac Racing team, which is well on course
Yeah,
right now in the hands of Jorge Martin to potentially take the MotoGP World Championship in 2024. So maybe there's another stepping
let's
stone
see.
potential in the future for yourself, David. Now, before we could talk about the future and obviously you look ahead to the weekend, we'll play what you've come on for, MotoGP Fantasy. And what we've done for this
Wow.
weekend is we've decided to maybe just give ourselves a fresh start for you. And let's start from the beginning again. And let's choose a nice fresh team for the weekend. So, David, we have 15 million salary. So
Okay.
we have also um, four riders to pick: gold team, silver team, a constructor, and a
Mm.
team all within that 15 million limit. Now, is there any rider that you would like to put into your team right away? Maybe someone at the head of the championship, maybe somebody that won last weekend, or somebody that was on the podium, or maybe somebody that had a difficult Aragon but will be looking to bounce back at the home round this weekend.
Okay, this is difficult, eh?
Very difficult,
This is,
yes.
yeah. This is for what you're telling me is for a golden rider or
um,
for
for
what?
for golden rider or silver rider, you can pick four riders, but you can put them in any way, any place you would like to.
Okay, I need to spend all the money, no?
If you can spend all the money, even better.
Okay, so let's see how much. Uh,
So
I think, wow, Bagnaia is not possible. I
Bagnaia is possible. He's just a little bit further down. So he's 5.4 million. So yeah,
I
after
have
a
15.
difficult weekend,
Oh,
15. So yeah, that's a good chunk of your spending money already on
because
Bagnaia.
for gold, because gold is like the one I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure, but the one I decide that is going to win, right?
Yes, so gold will get you the maximum amount of points. Silver will get you the half
Okay,
points.
the
But
half.
yeah, but you can
Okay,
play strategically. Maybe one of your better riders you put in silver just to get more points for silver, if you think. But usually best to put them in gold. I think anyway. But I'm not here to tell you everything.
yeah,
That's you to
like the
pick.
one I'm not sure, put it in silver, right?
Yes, yes, I would go for that
Yeah,
as your best advice.
yeah. I will put because we all know that Bagnaia, home GP, Italian guys here, they made a lot of laps in this track. They really like it. So normally, even Moto 3 and Moto 2, they also go really fast. The Italian guys here. So let's put Bagnaia on goal.
Bagnaia and gold. You're absolutely right there, David. They've spent so many laps around Misano. They've also put a grain in the tarmac. They've been here so many times. So Bagnaia and your gold. Who else would you like to put in your gold team? Just remember we have 9.6 million remaining.
9.6. So now let's see because we need to. We need the
maybe.
money for the others.
We do indeed. We also
So
have Bezzecchi, Di Antonio, who've also done a lot of laps around here. They both had a strong Aragon weekend.
yet the
Franco
Gian
Morbidelli.
Antonio have good right?
Yes,
Uh,
2.8 million. He showed very well last
have a good
weekend.
Aragon or no?
He had a strong Aragon. Yes, he finished in front of Marco Bezzecchi in the race. I think he finished seventh across the line, but I think got a penalty for tiring going over the pressure limit at the end. So,
Yeah,
but
because Bastianini Marquez is too much money.
a lot of money, yes, for both. I know
But
Mark is somebody that's quite
I
close to you. You'd like to put him in the team, but maybe quite difficult.
yeah, quite difficult. No, I will put yeah, I like that option. Fabio Di Antonio, I like it
Fabio
for
Di Giannantonio
the last one goal. Yeah,
for last one
yeah,
gold. Okay, so silver riders.
Italian.
Who are we
We
thinking?
trust in him.
We trust in the Italians. Yes, we do.
Trust in the Italian power.
Italian power. You hope the Italian power won't be ahead of you in the race in Moto3. Hope they'll be just behind you.
Yeah. Now, how much money?
So we have 6.8 million remaining.
Six,
Just remember, we have
six
to
point
pick a
eight.
constructor and a team as well at the end. So we
Hmm.
need to be quite clever with our money now, to be honest. Just remember that
Yeah.
another rider that's had some laps around here is Paul Espargaro. He'll be here this weekend. I'm not sure if he's on the list. A little bit further down, he is 1.6. Um, Also, Fabio Quartararo, maybe Yamaha can have quite a good weekend here. They've been testing in Misano quite recently, along with the Honda
Yeah.
riders. So, Johan
Mm,
Zarco, he was good
let
in
me
Aragon last
see.
weekend.
Let me see. Roll down. Let's. What? Jan Zarco is not a bad option. Roll down because
Roll down,
he had a
yes,
good Aragon.
he did. He did
Uh,
have a good Aragon.
but Paul is riding. No, let's trust in. Yeah, in Paul is motivated. Uh, right?
Paul.
He's going to do the test. No,
Uh,
the
yeah,
race, right?
yes, I believe he'll do the race. If you were a little bit unsure, maybe another option would be Maverick Vinales. He's 2 million, former winner here in Misano. He usually goes quite well around here.
And yes, I will. The last option, Aprilia must be there. So Viñales is a nice option.
Very good option.
Aprilia maybe on the with the fast corners at the last sector, the bike is like strong in that point.
Yes, very strong. So are you
Yeah.
maybe going towards Maverick Vinales or potentially Aleix or maybe even Miguel Oliveira, who was showing very well in Aragon last weekend? Fifth in the sprint, just crashed out of the race, but was showing good speed, or maybe Raul Fernandez.
Mm,
Tough decisions here.
okay. Tough. No, Oliveira. Oliveira is nice. Yes.
Oliveira, yes, a good option. Oliveira, 1.4 million. That's a nice cheap option for Miguel. Okay, so that leaves us
Mm.
with 3.8 million left for constructor and the team. Which one are we going for first? We're going for constructor or team first of all?
Okay, so well, the constructor. Let's see the prices.
Constructor list.
Let's see for the constructor.
So immediately
Yeah,
Ducati is out of option. So with our 3.6 remaining, we have KTM, Honda, Yamaha, or Aprilia.
um, wow. Because, but if I don't, well, because if I don't choose, like for example, a Yamaha rider, I cannot put Yamaha.
No, no, I don't think that's the best option. Also, since Yamaha have
Yeah,
two riders, then if something happens to them in the race, which we hope does not happen, then it's difficult for you to get
less
constructors
options.
points. Less options, yes.
Yeah,
So
less options. Yeah, I think must be like the well, KTM or Aprilia.
okay,
I'm between both of them,
if
but we don't have too much money.
yeah, we don't have too
uh,
much. If you want to go for the cheaper option, maybe
Ap-
Aprilia. So you have a
Aprilia, yeah,
so we'll go for
yeah,
Aprilia for constructors, and that leaves us with
Aprilia can do
1.5
good.
for team. So who do we have? We have Monster Yamaha, we have Repsol Honda, LCR, Trackhouse, They are the only one that we have that we can pick. So maybe continue the Aprilia trend and go for Trackhouse.
Yeah, yeah. Track house is, I think, the best
The
option.
best.
Well, and one of the little one of that we can choose because we don't have too much option for you.
Yeah, we only have
We
1.5,
spend
so
lot we spend a lot of money on the
yeah.
on the riders.
It's all
Yeah,
Pecco's fault. We spent so much money on Pecco at the beginning.
yeah,
So we're happy with Trackhouse. So that gives us
yeah,
our team. We were close to the entire salary. We were only 1,000 off. So I think it's a good option. A good option indeed. So
yeah. I think because obviously we you cannot choose like 3, 4 Bagnaia because we cannot. So I think with the money we had, not bad option.
I think you've
Yeah,
chosen a
I
very
like
good
it.
team. I think it's a very good team as well, David. I think
Yeah.
there could be some good points there for this weekend. Now,
Mm.
before we let you go, we've got a couple of more questions for you. So ahead of the weekend, we have talked about a little bit earlier on that you will be, well, hopefully going for your championship. You'll be adding to your win count. Now, I don't know if you know this, just to bring up a couple of stats. Since you became a full-time rider last year, David, you've competed in 32 races and you've scored 16 podiums. So you now have a 50% hit rate in podiums. I don't know if you know that. Is that quite? Did you know
Oh,
about that
I
stat? Is
didn't
that an
know.
impressive stat
I
to you?
didn't know that.
So you're
Nice
very
numbers.
success.
I didn't know it. I bet I would like no telling me better. No, it's a joke because the rider we must deal with the pressure and it's always there. Obviously, the numbers they were they are going to tell you always, and if they tell you that kind of number, things means that things are going well. But what I need to do is when I go out of the track, just get out all of my mind and focus on what I have in front.
Well, I don't want to put any more pressure on you and tell you the win statistics, but I can just say it's very good. So you have 8 more races to
Okay.
go, and I'm sure you'll be looking to add more silverware to your collection and the big one at the end of the year in Valencia. Just a couple of more things. You are chasing your first World Championship, looking like it's going to be a very tough 8 more rounds. You're 75 points ahead of Colin Vire, who you've known extremely well from Junior GP and also Red Bull Rookies. How are you handling the 8 remaining rounds of the season? Is it all about just getting as many points as possible or all about race victories? Oh, and I think we may have lost David Alonso there. We'll try and get him back, but yeah, unfortunately, it looks like we might have just had a couple of connection issues there with David Alonso. Well, anyway, we'll have to get him back on the show at some point just to ask him a few more of those questions about the season. Maybe by that point, he will be wrapping up the championship in Moto 3. But a big thank you to David Alonso. Big thank you to you as well for joining us so far this weekend ahead of round 13 in Misano. Just to recap, this is David Alonso's team for the weekend. Pecco Bagnaia and Fabio Di Giannantonio going for gold, hopefully in the Grand Prix for them and in David Alonso's team. And Pecco Bagnaia looking to bounce back after what was a difficult Aragon GP and try and claw in some of those points on Jorge Martin. He's a 2-time winner here in the past in 21 and of course 22. He did manage to pick up a podium last year with an injury he carried over from Catalonia. So we know Pecco does go very well around here. Fabio Di Giannantonio on home soil. He'll be looking for a strong result. Paul Spargaro, who is coming back this weekend as a wild card, and Miguel Oliveira, who is showing very good speed in Aragon. Aprilia and of course Trackhouse are our constructor and team. Now, if you're just joining us for the first time and would like to get involved in MotoGP Fantasy, just remember you can sign up to MotoGP Fantasy this weekend and play for some of our weekly prizes, our competition prizes, which would get you 2 tickets of your choosing to any GP that you would like to go to if you win our weekly competition prize. I must admit that is something that would be brilliant to have. And of course, if the MotoGP World Championship does go down to Valencia, and it'll be a sold out show, but that would be one worth visiting as well. However, if you've been with us since the beginning of the season, or maybe just a little bit afterwards, and gaining some good points on your competition, remember our season prizes are a replica Pecco Bagnaia helmet from 2023 signed by the world champion as well. Second place gets you the PlayStation 5 and the MotoGP 24 video game. And just a little plug on MotoGP eSport, that will be starting very soon as well. So if you want to get yourself up to speed with the professionals, make sure you get involved in that with the MotoGP video game and, of course, a PlayStation 5. But for third place, you also get a very nice, I must admit, there's a few people in the office here in Barcelona wearing a few. They're making me quite jealous. A Tissot T-Race MotoGP Limited Edition watch. So just remember, you can always race against your friends, family, and MotoGP fantasy. So make sure you get yourself signed up if you haven't already. And if you are, make sure you take David Alonso's advice and maybe put in some of the riders that he has put into his team. We'd like to say a big thank you once again for joining us, and we hope to see you again for the next round, which will also be in Misano, round number 14 for the Emilia-Romagna GP. But before then, we will be joining you for the rest of the weekend, and make sure you join MotoGP.com and, of course, MotoGP social media throughout the entirety of the weekend, which I can feel will be a very close and exciting weekend.